Hello, this is Coach Xano Titan. Today I'm going to be reviewing a small little game called King of Glory by Harmon Games. And this game is actually made by one of my friends. So I may be a little biased, but I'm going to try not to be and give my best honest review. Let's get into it. So before my dad gets to the overview, I just wanted to let you know that there is no blurb, but this game, King of Glory, is actually from a movie called, you guessed it, King of Glory. So maybe after this review, I will go watch King of Glory, and I will make a short and tell you how I like it. So just be checking out for that, and I will most likely do that. So let's get straight to dad.
To set up the game, King of Glory, you first need to prepare the King of Glory deck by removing cards depending on player count. Then you will shuffle the deck, set it aside, leaving room for the discard area. Now before we get to turn structure, let's look at the anatomy of the card. So we have the name of the card, we have the number, and I believe it's 1 through 54, so there's 54 cards in the deck, and then there are these little circles. Some of the cards have 1, some might have 4, some may have none, but and I'll explain connections in a little bit, but these connect different cards throughout the game. And so that is the card structure. So on your turn, what you would do is you would draw 2 cards. So you would draw either 2 cards from the deck. You could draw 2 cards from the discard area, or a card from the deck and a card from the discard area. Now, let me draw 2 cards. One, got the 21 here, which we already seen, and the 30. So in King of Glory, you're trying to set a tableau of cards in chronological order. So when you're playing a card, you want to play cards that are close together. These are a little far apart, like 9 apart. So you might only want to play one of these. You can play both your cards. You can play 1 card or no cards on your turn. So I would probably start with the 21 here, put it in my play area, and then I would put this in the discard area. So, and then it would pass on to the next person. They would draw 2 cards and so on around the table. And you would continue to build your tableau. I'm going to snap ahead so I can show you a couple of other things. So, all right. So we are set up a little farther along in the game. We have my player area here, and we would have other people with their player areas, with their line of cards, and then we have the discard area here. And so on my turn, as I explained, you can draw from the deck or the discard area, and I explained that you could play cards and you could discard cards, but I didn't explain how to play cards. So as you're drawing 2 cards, you would look at the cards, and when you're playing a card, you either have to be, it has to be the highest in your line of cards or the lowest in the line of cards. So we have the 44 and the 7, so I would be able to play the 44, right? And I would also be able to play the 27. That was convenient, right? I probably didn't set that up right. And so that would add to my tableau, making my card line longer. So then when it came around to my turn again, I could draw again, right? I could, again, draw from the discard pile if I wanted to. But I have these, which, right, are not higher and lower. We have the 37 and the 38, so they would technically go like right here in the line. So I wouldn't be able to play those typically, but this one has no connection, so I would just have to discard that one. This one has a connection. You see this heart here and the heart here. It means there's a connection with this card. So that means I actually would be able to move my cards over and fit that in. So you can continue to put cards in between as long as you're making those connections. So you would continue around the table, drawing cards, playing cards, discarding cards until no one could, till the deck runs out and no one can draw cards from the discard pile. And once that happens, the game immediately ends and you score your line of cards. Now, how do you score? Well, you first count all the cards in in your line. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you count all the connections. Well, I have this connection here. So that's 1. And I have this connection here. That's 2. And I think that's all I have. So you get 2 points for every connection. So that would be an extra 2 points. So I had 12 plus 4 because I had 2 connections. So that would be 16 points. And that's what I would score at the end of the game. Whoever has the highest points wins the game. And then once you have determined the winner of the game, using the winner's line of cards, you will discuss the King of Glory story. Starting with the lowest card, the law of sin and death, working your way through the cards, telling the Bible story, all the way to the highest card, which in this case is the king is questioned, just discussing the Bible story that is told in the King of Glory. There is also an optional rule that as you make connections, for instance, I have this connection and this connection, when you make those connections, you will discuss how these 2 cards are connected. So in this case, we have the lamb in the circle here and the lamb in the circle here, and it says the law of the sin offering, and then we have the Lamb of God card. Well, this is the law of the sin offering, and then this is God's perfect sin offering, Jesus. So that would be a way these cards might be connected. So you could discuss that furthering the discussion of the Bible, which is pretty cool. So, and that is how you play King of Glory.
So what I like about King of Glory is, number one, I think the theme is really awesome, like that biblical theme. And actually, me and my dad have been reading through the Bible this year, and we've made it all the way up to Isaiah. And I think that's pretty cool, and this theme hits pretty close to home to me. And what ties the theme to the game is, number one, as a group, when connections are made, you are trying to find out how those cards are related or how they connect, which I think is pretty cool. And another thing that ties the theme to the game is how at the end of the game, as a group, you try to tell the story of the winning player's cards. So I think those little like role-playing type rules are pretty fun, and these are optional, so you don't have to do them, but it's definitely fun to add them in. Another thing I like is this game is really easy. It's super easy. All it is just picking up 2 cards, either discarding them or playing them. So it's super simple, and the turns are lightning fast, and you don't have to wait around. So with the combination of those 2 things, it makes for like a game for all ages that you can play to talk about the Bible with people and to even maybe teach kids about the Bible, which is really awesome. Another thing I like is this game is in a really compact size, and it's actually smaller than my phone, so I can fit it in my pocket and take it places. I think that's pretty awesome. Sometimes not all the games fit in the game bag. Another thing I like is that the components in this game, even though it's just a deck of cards, I actually think that the deck of cards, I mean, they're linen finished, and they're just really, really nice cards. But one thing, it's not bad. The art, it's middle of the pack. It's not great, but it's not terrible. You know, just that mid. And a few things that I dislike is, number one, it's a little too luck of the draw, so it gives players the advantage. And one thing that kind of helps that with that is the connections. But it is a little too much luck of the draw for me, and people just end up destroying me no matter their skill level. And another thing I don't like as much is, weirdly enough, this game feels too short for me. As in the 2-player version, you have to take out a lot of cards. And I just feel like, I mean, with higher player counts, you're using more cards, but the players are using the cards faster. So, again, it's probably too short, and I would just like if this game was longer and I could keep going. But there's only so many stories in the Bible. And yeah, that is what I like and dislike about King of Glory. I know it's the outro, but I did not mention, do I like or do I dislike this game? I gave some positive and I gave some negative opinions. And I think, yeah, I do like this game. And yeah, there is luck, but it's so fast that the pain is just taken away so quick. So yeah, you should really go check it out. And if you love this biblical game review, please smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, and smash the notification bell if you want to see more long form videos, shorts, and live streams. And also go check out my Linktree so you can have links to my YouTube, of course, and my Facebook and Instagram, where you can find pictures of course, my dog Vinny, and behind the scenes stuff, like when stuff is coming out, and maybe even changes to my room. Who knows? Also, check out my Dice Tower playlist, where you can see all my appearances on Board Game Breakfast for the Dice Tower. And also check out my merch store. The holiday seasons are very far away, but if you want to get your Christmas shopping done early, then go buy some merch for your family, because I assure you that these shirts, not these shirts, but the shirts that I have are very comfy and awesome. And so yeah, guys, have a great day. Bye.